Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're focusing on OpenTable. The app that launched, wow, way back in 1998.
Yeah, it's been around. And now it's pretty much the global standard, promises streamlined bookings, tens of thousands of places use it.
It's the go-to infrastructure, really, for getting a table. But we need to ask, what's the actual cost? Not just money, but, the hidden stuff.
Exactly. That's our mission here. We're trying to look past that smooth promise of instant reservations.
Right.
And really analyze what users, and maybe even more importantly, what the restaurants themselves are giving up for that ease of use.
Okay, let's get into it then. We're exploring the surface stuff, the benefits that got everyone hooked, versus the deeper operational and data side that our source material brought up. We have to start with the user experience, right? What makes it so essential for people eating out today?
Well, the convenience factor is just huge. You can filter by cuisine, location, real-time availability. It's instant. Cuts out so much hassle.
Like calling around.
Exactly. And then you've got the mobile features changing or canceling bookings right on your phone, calendar integration, reminders. It really fits that on-the-go lifestyle. It solves a real problem.
So the core function, getting a table, it nails that. But our sources suggested there are quirks, things stopping it from being truly great.
Yeah, a couple of catches came up in the feedback we looked at. First, it seems the platform isn't equally smooth everywhere.
How so?
Well, there were specific complaints, especially about the Android versions. People mentioned bugs, login problems being a pain, map, zoom, acting weird, makes finding places harder than it should be.
So maybe not optimized across the board.
Seems like it. Maybe the iOS app got more attention.
Yeah.
So some users are hitting these frustrating little hiccups.
Okay, and what was the second point?
The reward system. The Dine Points program. It sounds good, right?
Free meals eventually.
Kind of. But sources described it as, well, not as clear or straightforward as users expect. It leads to frustration when you try to redeem points or even figure out how many you actually have. It's friction where you want, delight.
Okay. So minor frustrations for the user, maybe. But let's flip to the other side of the counter. What about the restaurants? The app must have some big operational wins for them.
Oh, absolutely. For a restaurant, it's great for filling empty seats, especially during those slower times.
Makes sense.
And it's really helpful for managing big groups and, importantly, handling notes like dietary needs, seating requests. It smooths out that front-of-house operation quite a bit.
So they gain efficiency. But what's the financial catch? Our sources hammered this point, a steep, complex cost structure. What does that actually mean? You hear terms like per-cover fees.
Yeah, that's the heart of the tension for restaurants. That per-cover fee basically means OpenTable charges the restaurant every single time a customer booked via their app sits down.
Every single person?
Every person. And that fee is on top of pretty substantial monthly subscription charges just to have the software in the first place.
Wow, okay. So it sounds like that classic SaaS dilemma. You pay a big chunk just to play, and then you pay again for every transaction.
Precisely. And for a lot of restaurants, especially the smaller independent ones, that return on investment, the ROI, it isn't always obvious when that big monthly bill lands. They're kind of renting their own customer relationship back from OpenTable.
Which brings us to the user's hidden cost. If the restaurant's paying hard cash, what are we, the diners, paying with?
Data. That's the big one. This is the critical red flag that came up in the terms of service reviews.
Okay.
The sources were explicit. When you hit, I agree, OpenTable uses your information, where you eat, when your preferences, and they're allowed to sell that data to third parties.
Sell it to who?
Usually marketing firms, analytics companies, people who want to understand consumer behavior.
So that quick booking isn't just about convenience. There's an explicit data trade-off baked in. Your dining habits become a commodity.
It's exactly right. If you're concerned about privacy, about data sharing, you really need to grasp that the speed of getting that reservation, it's directly linked to them monetizing your habits. You should know what you're giving up.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the final verdict for our listeners? OpenTable is legit, right? It does what it says on the tin, mostly.
Yeah, it absolutely delivers booking convenience, especially if you're in a big city with a lot of options. But like we said, it's not perfect.
Right.
So if you go in expecting flawless performance on every single phone, or if you think there's absolutely zero data sharing happening, well, your expectations might be a bit high.
It comes down to a choice.
It really does.
Yeah.
You, the consumer, have to decide.
Yeah.
Is the sheer ease of snagging that dinner spot worth the trade-off of your dining data potentially being shared?
This deep dive definitely pulled back the curtain on the fine print for a mainstream tool like this. But, it makes you wonder, If this is what's happening with popular apps, what kind of fine print is hiding in those super exclusive, members-only booking apps for the really high-end places?
That's a good question. Something to chew on next time you're confirming that weekend reservation.